My name is Mareko Maumasi. I'm a custom knife maker. Maumasi Fire Arts is the name of my company. I've been making knives for about 10 years, and I first started making knives in 2008. Before I started making knives, I've done all kinds of woodworking. I did interior finish carpentry, I did construction stuff. When I was in middle school and high school, all I wanted to do was woodworking. I'd never really done any metalworking until I was working in a restaurant, actually. And a guy who specializes in making chef's knives offered me a job. So just before I started making chef's knives, I was working professionally in a kitchen, slinging knives and chopping and slicing and dicing. My biggest strength when it comes to the chef's knife is having the experience of using a chef's knife day in and day out. And so with that experience, I can put that into the geometry and the grind of the blade and how I design and tailor the knife to perform. I think when it comes to strengths, my ability to design Damascus, pattern welded mosaic Damascus especially, to be able to see things out in the world or even have like an image pop into my head and draw out what would essentially be the finished product or the finished design and shape and pattern, and then being able to reverse engineer that to give myself a starting point and then go from there and work forward. Also, another one of my greatest strengths, and possibly the thing I'm actually the best at when it comes to knife making, is handle sculpting, handle shaping, and my ability to manipulate and make the belts do things for me that you wouldn't expect them to be able to be able to roll a 6-degree grit X-weight belt around the corner of a platen to get a contour, to do the same thing on like a rubber-backed rotary platen to get a special contour on the handle. So the way that I would say that I am kind of pushing the boundaries of knife making is how I'm laying up my billets, how I'm orienting them, how I'm forging them to create wild activity, and then not doing like maybe a traditional like 4 square bars put back together, but doing a rectangular bar and then a square and a square and a square and another square and a rectangle bar and a square and a square, and just mixing it up and using math to help figure out how to economize the material as well, so I'm not wasting any material, and also getting very interesting and intriguing patterns that ultimately are misleadingly simple. They seem very complicated because of the activity that's happening. The eye gets lost in what's going on in the pattern, that it's hard to recognize how simple the pattern actually is to create. And it's seeing those possibilities just through my own experience to be able to use that to my advantage. It's interesting and intriguing, and it fulfills me and makes me feel good, but also other people like it too. I think what's powerful to me is being part of a team like Team Combat, which is this incredible pool of makers who are coming together to do work that is meaningful and powerful and valuable, not just for ourselves, but for other people out in the world. A team like that is what makes me proud of the work that I do. I was first introduced to Combat Abrasives through Neil Kamimura. He introduced me to them. They were gracious enough to kind of send me a sample pack to try out some of their materials, and I was pleasantly surprised by the quality of the product and how effective it works and how much more of a pleasure it is to do the work with abrasives that make the work easy more than anything. My favorite product from Combat is definitely the 36 grit ceramic shredder belts. Those things help me get like 80% of all the grinding done I need to do on a blade. Before heat treat, after heat treat for my finish grind, I get so much work with just 136 before I even jump to a 60 and a 120 and so on. Being able to build something with my 2 hands that gives back in a way that is so special and meaningful to somebody is really important and valuable to me.